Hello, my name is Paul Wangari, a counseling psychologist, a passionate mentor, a corporate trainer, and an author. Do you know what? I have written 4 books. My first book is Time Management for Winning Grades. My second book is Sex and Teenagers. My third book is Becoming a Man. And my latest book is Why You Marry Wrong. You can get a copy of this book by calling this number 0715-629877, and we shall be able to send to you a parcel across the country. Or you can visit Nuria Online Bookstore at Nairobi, Bazaar Building, 11th floor, room number 115. Knowledge is power. Ensure you get a copy of this book. Welcome to the second segment of our show, Heal Me Youth Connect. Today we're talking about the boy child, becoming a man. And we're asking ourselves today, is there hope for the boy child? Mr. Paul is here with us, helping us understand in perspective where the rain started beating the boy child, and if there is hope for him today. Welcome back, Mr. Paul.
Thank you so much.
And thank you very much for helping us understand that this issue is not as easy or as light as many people think. You know, the issue of boy child goes way deep than you can even imagine.
Absolutely.
Right? So with all that, Mr. Paul, and having taken us back to the genesis of this,
Yes.
what structures can we put in place, you know, in the current generation or in the society today to be able to bring back the lost glory of this boy child?
Very good question, Mr. Paul. Now, having appreciated our past and of course the events that may have shaped the current situation of the boy child in Kenya and elsewhere,
Yes.
it is good again to ask ourselves the question that you have just asked. So the question is, can we borrow some aspects of our traditional way of life to improve the current setting in society and the structures we can put in place to maintain or to restore the glory of the boy or the man today? So, having gone back to our roots,
Yes.
I would like to take you there one more time for the last trip.
Yes.
And I'd like you to see that the society was structured in such a way that according to different genders, children were brought up in a certain way.
Okay.
And of course, you will appreciate the fact that, for example, the girls received mentorship from their mothers, from their aunts, from their grandmothers, and all that, of course. The boy, on the other hand, was being mentored by the father.
Yes.
That is at the family setting. And then from that point, there were the elders. Of course, we know the elders were the overall leadership of many communities.
Yes.
For example, the Gichuki community. The elders were the overall.
Yes.
So what do I want you to appreciate? I want you to appreciate the fact that the social structure, the social cultural setting in the traditional African societies was made in such a way to model a boy or a man to fit into specific responsibilities and roles in future. Right?
Okay.
So that is something that you need to understand.
So from the time this boy was young, he was brought up in a certain manner and way in mind of what he will become tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. With an idea of what we want this boy to become. Do we want him to assume the role of a warrior, for example, in his 20s or so? Is he going to become a junior elder at 40? Those were the structures that were put in place to address how this boy would be mentored. And I'll give you a very good example, Mr. Paul. Look, when the boy was very young, around the age of 10 years, he was mentored or shown to do certain tasks by the father. One thing is herding. You know, the traditional communities used to keep livestock.
Yes.
So this boy would be shown how to herd either by the elder brothers or the father.
Yes.
Right? That is teaching him the virtue of hard work.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Sure.
And through that mentorship, the father would be able to identify the personality of this boy. All right? How this boy is talented. For example, does he have concentration?
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Can he concentrate with this task, or he will leave the herd and go and play? and then the kettle are all over the place.
So this was like school in the modern time.
Absolutely. It was the informal education, right? So there was a way of learning, that is what I'm saying,
Yes.
where the roles were taught to the boys with a goal in mind to instill certain values in this boy, molding him in a way so that he becomes a desirable adult in the coming days. So that is what we are saying.
Yes.
Again, I'd like you to look at the traditional, cultural rites, and I'll pick one in the interest of time,
Yes,
for our viewers to understand us better.
Yes.
Look at the initiation ceremony in traditional African societies.
Yes.
Why are we dwelling on our past? Because before we diagnose the problem,
the current problem,
very good. Before we understand where we are coming from, we may not be able to deal effectively with the current situation that we are having, because we'll be treating the wrong symptoms.
Wow. Wow.
So it is imperative to understand
Yes.
how our society was structured then. And of course, we do know that everybody today, every man of today is looking to say, we want to be like the men of the past. We want to be like our grandfathers. So the question is, what is it that our grandfathers did right, we are doing wrong?
So we need to go back to the history to learn, so that we can be able to live today and proceed to the future.
Precisely so.
Wow.
You're putting it so well.
Thank you.
So well, Mr. Paul. I appreciate your knowledge of historical events and all that.
I try. Yes.
So let me take you to the circumcision or initiation rites.
Yes.
Actually, many of the African societies had circumcision as the initiation, but others had other forms of initiations.
Yes.
So during circumcision, it was an important period, and mainly for the boy, where this boy was being prepared for adulthood. And I would like you to note,
Yes.
and our viewers also to note,
Yes.
that certain very important values were inculcated in this boy.
During that process.
During that process. Very important values.
Yes.
One of them, courage. And the question is, do we have courageous boys or courageous young men today? That is something we are getting...
It's a point of we can debate on. Yes.
It is debatable.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. And they were being taught responsibility,
Yes.
how to be responsible. That is something we are lacking today.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? These boys were also taught teamwork, because in many cases the boys were circumcised together. Even the process of healing, the process of education, they were being taught together. So they were taught how to be responsible. They were taught teamwork,
Yes.
working together, and that is also something that would help them even in their adult life.
Wow.
Hope we appreciate, and I
Yes.
hope even our viewers
Exactly.
appreciate that.
Exactly.
Other values like integrity,
Yes.
respect, and of course endurance, because of course circumcision was a painful process. They were taught to endure. So the question is, if we had such values instilled, that is why such a right was very important, and it was a very, very paramount right for the Africans, because it provided an opportunity to nurture this boy into a wholesome man,
Yes.
who can endure pain,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Who can endure difficult moments, who has courage to face challenges,
Yes.
right? You're getting me?
Yes.
Who can respect the elders.
And that's we have an issue today, because so many young men today have no respect. We have even had cases of men killing, young men killing their fathers because of land, because of inheritance, and all these things. Wow, wow.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely, Paul. So that is why I'm saying, if then things have changed to the worst, we must go back and see the things we were doing right,
Yes.
and borrow them, and perhaps implement some of them, even if we may not be able to implement all of them.
All of them, yes.
Because I know our viewers are wondering, why are you taking us back? But it is very important, because even when we appreciate that the family setup, the community way of life has changed in a big way, because now we have individualism, urbanization, things have changed. We
Yes.
appreciate that. We no longer maybe have the livestock to go and herd.
Exactly. Even the dynamics of family unit has changed.
True.
Because today now we have single parents.
Very good.
We have mothers who are fathers and mothers are wearing the same hat.
Some correction, Paul. I mean,
Yes.
that is an idea that is far-fetched.
What do you mean?
It's an idea that is far-fetched. The truth is...
our listener, our viewers, listen to this. Listen to this.
The truth is, the family setting has changed, and the meaning of family has changed. So it is true we have a single parent families.
Yes.
But I do not want to accept
Yes.
the notion that we have a mother who is also a father. That is far-fetched.
Anasema what a man can do better.
No,
Therefore, anaambia watoto mimi ni baba na mama kwenu.
I refuse to buy that idea. That idea is illogical.
Okay.
And at the same time irrational.
Wow.
At the same time, it is not practical.
No, it can never get better than this. Please, take us through the impact of this to the boy.
And we'll come to that.
Okay.
We'll come to that as we conclude.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is, we are appreciating, yes, things have changed. Family unit has changed. We have single parent families.
Yes.
Families led by women. That one we appreciate. But again, we are saying some of the cultural aspects that we used to have can still be borrowed and inculcated. Because, for example, we still have circumcision rights
as
today.
one of, yes.
True. We are still having boys in different age groups, even in schools. We have the church unit, therefore, which is also a community and a society. So how then can we borrow and try now to look at the boy, to nurture him from this young age? Shall we do that in school? Right? Because that is the new communities that we have. Now we are no longer living in ridges. We are no longer living in villages.
Yes.
Now our villages have turned into modern villages. Maybe estates, schools, churches, and this is where most of these boys are spending their time.
Yes.
It is for us to ask ourselves, what are some of the values that we can inculcate when these boys are in school? For example, in primary school. What can we inculcate when they're in secondary school? And most importantly, during these rites of passage like initiation, because we still take it seriously today,
Yes.
Can we still see that we are teaching them to be responsible, all right? To be courageous, to respect, to have integrity? Are we also teaching? Because one of the things that was also very much given attention during traditional times was the issue of sex education. And that was also something that was taught during initiation. We are talking about the boy today, but this issue was also taught to the girls as well. But our focus today is about the boy. So if we are able to pick these things, I believe, and we integrate them into our modern society, the way it is structured today, notwithstanding the changes that have happened in society, I believe we can create and make better boys.
And that now takes me to the other point. And now I want to ask ourselves, how now do we work with the traditional structure, to replicate that to the modern society for this boy to become the man that is intended to be? Because I know it doesn't matter how modernized we have become.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't matter the changes that have taken place.
Sure.
But one thing stands, that a man is still a man.
Exactly.
Right? Despite the timing. All right. So how do we then replicate this to the modern society?
That's a good thought.
Yes.
It's something worth discussing, something worth navigating.
Yes.
Because we need to understand now how we can make things work today, presently, as it is. We know society has changed.
Yes.
Family organization has changed.
Yes.
So what are we going to do that fits us today to see how now the boy can be changed to better?
Exactly.
The transformation. Actually, it is the restoration.
Restoration, yes.
Because we are restoring. When you talk about restoring, you are talking about bringing back something that is lost. Because we have lost something.
Yes.
One thing, Paul, that I think we should begin by appreciating, and I know even our viewers appreciate that.
Yes.
We need to have the society appreciate the position of the man in it. Get it? The society appreciating the position
of the man.
Wow. And I want to tell you, it begins even by the talk in the streets. that is also becoming very degenerating, very demeaning to the men. The issue that you are saying that what a man can do.
A woman can do even better.
So what is the man supposed to do then? So what is the end meaning of that statement? That we don't need
the man.
We don't need the man.
Wow, and society cannot exist without a man.
And that is the most unfortunate thing.
And all the boys today have felt that now, since girls can do much better, they can be without us. They feel they feel they're belittled by those sentiments.
Absolutely.
And now they retrieve.
Exactly.
And now they let the girls. Wow.
The sad state, actually, Paul, the way you have noted, is that now, instead of man, naturally the way he's made to lead, right now he's fighting to reclaim his position. That's the saddest bit.
Wow. Fighting for what is his.
Rightfully his.
Rightfully his.
That is the point.
Wow.
What is rightfully his is now fighting to assert himself in a position that was naturally and originally his.
Wow.
Unfortunate.
Wow.
So I'm saying
Very
the first thing that we must do is to appreciate that man's position and role in society is important by deed and by word, so that we do away, we discard these stereotypes and these talks that tend to belittle the position of the man.
Yes.
Something else that we must do, understanding the social setting and the economic hardships, and the fact that men sometimes are working far from their families. And so you have distant whatever, distant family upbringing or
they call it remote parenting.
Remote, perfect.
Yes, remote parenting.
Remote parenting. If we have to bring up boys who will be very productive men in the coming days,
yes,
I think we need to have fathers who avail themselves for their boys. Fathers who avail themselves to the boys.
Yes.
They must create time out of their busy schedule to listen to these boys.
Yes.
To talk to these boys. To be seen by these boys.
To be seen by these boys.
And I want to repeat here again, even for our viewers, that our kids mostly learn through observation of what we are doing. They copy.
Rather than even saying.
Rather than saying. So they copy more what we are doing, and they copy very little of what we are telling them to do. So they want to see what you are telling me. Are you doing it? You are telling me to be courageous. Are you courageous?
Yes. Yes.
Are you courageous? In case there is a knock in the middle of the night, is it you, the father, who is opening the door, or it is the mother? Simple things.
You know, when you're saying that,
yes.
In my mind, I'm seeing a father in his workshop doing his repairing something. Perfect. And the boy is there trying to imitate his father.
Exactly.
Wow. Exactly. Wow. So that's what we need. This boy needs that.
That is what we are talking about. And you see, modernity has its positive and negative impact. And the one negative impact of modernity is we are tending to think that things are running themselves. Things don't happen that way. What you're talking about, a carpenter with his son watching what he is doing, one way in which skills were passed over in traditional times from the father to the son is through that apprenticeship. The son observing what the father is doing, he takes that kanyundo, he tries to imitate the father. The next time he's making a chair.
No, Mr. Paul, that one even gets more serious. Because I'm trying to imagine of a boy who has been brought up in a single parenthood. He has never seen a father in that house.
Right.
He sees the mom change the bulb. He sees the mom repair the door.
Oh my.
You know, how we can this boy learn to become a man through the mother?
Wow, that is where the buck stops. Actually, that is the elephant in the room. And the point I was just about to make is like reading my mind. Is that the mothers must stop clinging to their sons. They must let these boys be.
Wow.
They must let them become men.
Yes.
And for a boy to become a man, there must be a man to see something in that boy and bring it out.
Listen to that, our viewers. Listen to that. That for a man to be, for this boy to become a man, there has to be a man who looks inside that boy and sees the man and bring that man out of that boy.
Absolutely.
Something the mother cannot do because he's not a man.
That is the point, Paul.
Wow.
That is the point. And I dare say, and I think I told you previously in our discussion,
yes,
we stop this thing we are saying, the single parent who are mothers telling their sons and daughters, I am the mother and the father. That is not the truth. And actually you are distorting these boys.
And confusing these boys.
That is the word. You are confusing these boys. You cannot be the mother and the father. The truth is, if there is no father, absolutely, you are playing the roles of a mother.
Yes.
And the father. But you playing that role does not make you in any way the father. You are the mother.
Yes.
You are nurturing this boy. You are taking care of him. You are feeding him. You are paying his fees. Those are some of the roles the father is supposed to play.
Yes.
You are providing security to the family. But the truth is you are not
talk to that mother.
You are not the father. That is a fact.
Yes.
You are not the father. Though you could be playing some roles of the father, please understand you are not the father. So what then do we do? So this boy here needs a male figure so that he can be able to take up after him, so that he sees exactly how to behave like a man.
I'm so excited with today's discussion. And I know we cannot have enough of it because of the interest of time. But there's something that Paul has raised and which is very, very critical, that it is only a man who can look inside a boy and bring out the man in him. And that point, even if you have not gotten anything else, that point, let it sink. That a boy needs a role model. A boy needs a man to be in his life for him to become the man that he was supposed to be. So even if he is coming from a single parenthood, there are uncles, there are grandparents who can come on board and mentor this boy to become the person that he is. I know we're coming you back, Mr. Paul, again.
Thank you.
For this discussion. No, we have not exhausted everything.
Yeah, sure.
This is just an iceberg, you know.
Sure. It's a tip of an iceberg.
It's a tip of the iceberg. So we have a lot to discuss.
Absolutely.
And as we come to the end of our show today, this book, I wrote it in the mind that I'm calling it Becoming a Man, and saying that there is hope for the boy child. You know, looking at the dynamics and the challenges that boy child of today is facing. That's why I was able to compose this book with my good friend Kagondo Jr. We were able to write this book to help the boy child. This one is a manual for the boy child to be able to become the man that he's supposed to be. Many people are asking me, what age should this book is it for? But I always tell anyone who asks that question that this book is for any man who can be able to read. This book is speaking to mothers who are bringing up boys on how to bring up men from those boys. I'm also talking to fathers. They need to be present in their son's life. Get a copy of this book and learn how to become a man. You can get a copy of this book by calling this number 0715-629877. You can also visit Nuria Bookstore, Bazaar Building, first floor, room number 12. You can go there and get a copy of this book. Thank you very much, Mr. Paul, for coming to the show.
My pleasure.
We are so honored.
Yeah,
you're a man full of wisdom.
Thank you.
And if there's a parent out there who has a son and they would like to have a word with you, please share with us your contact so that they are able to reach to you.
Thank you, Paul, for hosting me. Thank you for that moment. The conversation about empowering and restoring the boy child is a conversation that is alive, and therefore it is something we shall be doing all over, and it's something that should be activated amongst our society. Now, anyone who wants to reach out to me, you can reach to me through 0710-962-730. My social media handles are right there on your screen. Thank you very much for your time.
Chenye mwanzo kina mwisho. So for today's session, we want to reach there. And I want to encourage you that you keep tuned in every Saturday. This is a show. This is the place to be. So ensure that you request your friends to come on board and subscribe and like and share for them also to get the wisdom that we share in this show. Until next time, may God bless you.